Not trying to waste any time here. Let's get right into the thesis and the first few months of running the store. So immediately right off the bat, when I came onto the Etsy platform, I realized how much potential there was with the platform. Just doing a few searches here and there, looking at what products were successful, and this is actually back in 2019. So this is September 2019 when I first kind of discovered that how powerful this platform was and how much potential that it had. But yeah, coming onto the platform, I was just doing a few searches here and there. The success that I had with Shopify was in the political niche. So I was just looking to see what was trending in the political niche, what was there. And of course, Trump supporters, Republicans have much more money typically than Democrats and are much more passionate than Democrats. So Trump merchandise, it's always going to be big. Republican merchandise, like these little print-on-demand T-shirts, Trump flags, all that stuff. So extrapolating the information from the little bit of success I had with my Shopify dropshipping stores in the Trump niche, I was like, you know what? Let me take it over to Etsy and see if I can sell on there. Now, this is still in those first few stages of selling on Etsy where I didn't truly know the extent of the platform. I was like, yeah, people make sales on here, but I didn't know that you could just launch a store and your listings will get traffic organically over time. Like it was the craziest thing. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions even to this day with the platform. But you know what? Just let it stay. You don't have to tell people that, you're going to get traffic organically. Just let it be. Also, one quick thing before we jump into this whole thing, you'll notice over here it says my account's been suspended. That's actually due to a fake copyright infringement or IP violation that occurred on a different store. So everything on this store was done by the book. It was run perfectly, smoothly. When I had a different store get taken down, this one got taken down as well. That's part of the reason why I'm doing the case study on it. But everything with this store was run perfectly and I had absolutely no violations. So just want to get that out there. It was taken down due to a fake copyright infringement on a different store. Just kind of unlucky. But everything you'll see here and all the advice they give is perfectly strict and within the rules of Etsy, and you're not going to get banned for it. And if you launched this same exact store again today, you wouldn't get banned for it. It was just unlucky from a different store. So let's keep going. Now, doing these searches on Etsy, I came across this one store. It was selling Trump flags, had just a couple listings up, and the listing price was somewhere like $14.95. And I saw they had well over 10,000 sales. It's like, wow, like that's pretty insane. And just with my rational mind, I was like, I can probably source these things in the US for cheaper. I mean, there has to be. So I did a bunch of research looking at print-on-demand flags. I was like, no, those are expensive. They're like $40. And then I found eBay. And eBay is just a hyper-competitive environment. People just love undercutting each other on there. And so it actually makes a great platform to source from and sell from. And so I found a supplier on eBay that was shipping these things out, the same exact flag. It was like a Trump Make America Great Again flag for literally $3.95 per unit shipped out on the eBay platform. So that means I could get even better pricing if I was doing hundreds of orders with him off the platform. And so that was kind of the general thesis I had. I wasn't really sure, what things were going to look like and the success. But what I did was I took the listing photos from eBay, jazzed them up a little bit in Canva, and added some borders, some outlines, like made in USA, little badge, whatever. And then I listed them on Etsy, and within a week I had my first sale. And it was really monumental. It was like, whoa, okay, I wasn't even running ads to these things and I already had my first sale. It's kind of crazy. And then, as time went on, I started listing more and gaining a little bit of traction. And then as, the trends, so if I look up Trump here, part of the reasoning why I started the store when I did was we go to past 5 years. Let's see. So yeah, right around here is when I started the store. And so I knew that the election was coming up and there was going to be massive spikes, a bunch of evergreen political topics, and yeah, just really within the political niche, that there was going to be a lot of information going around and spiking in the Google Trends. And so there's going to be a lot of traffic to my keywords, and that's part of the reason why I started the store. And so, as time went on, I started making, it went from like one sale a week to a couple sales a week, and I was pretty happy. And so I kind of just doubled down on what I was doing until I had listed every political flag that I could find. And then I started listing just USA flags. And then I started listing other countries' flags. And then I started listing variations of other countries' flags and USA flags. So for example, we'll talk about this more on like the products I sold. But yeah, I sold like an all black USA, like special embroidered flag, stuff like that for like $100 a flag. People loved it because it was super high quality. And then time went on, went from doing a few sales a week to a sale a day, and then a sale a day to a few sales a day. And then it went from like 10 sales a day to 20 sales a day, and just compounded. And it was amazing of how consistent it was. The revenue was so freaking consistent on this platform. Like I would just get whatever it was at that time. Let's say if it was 20 orders a day, I would get 20 orders a day, literally every single day. It was just amazing. And then going into the election day, that was a huge day for me. And then inauguration day was the day I did almost $5,000 a day. And I'll cover that more extensively, but that's really the thesis of the store and the initial first few months of running it and the momentum that I gained. All right, so we're going to talk about why this niche is absolutely gold. So if you look at it from an audience perspective, Trump supporters, Republicans, they're generally going to have a lot more money than Democrats of the same age. And generally, they're going to be extremely passionate. So you don't see Democrats storming the Capitol, right? Like the Trump supporters, especially, and just the Republicans in general, are extremely passionate and emotionally resonant with the cause of the movement. And so that's why this niche goes crazy. And that's why certain even affiliate offers and affiliate products like Trump Bucks, for example, do millions of dollars a month because people are obsessed, and the politics merge with the identities of who they are as a human. And so that's why this niche works so well. So that's from the audience perspective. Now, like more on the product perspective, the political niche just goes crazy. I mean, you've got evergreen topics. So there's always something to talk about. There's always something trending in the news that meshes in with our products. For example, one of my best sellers on this store was a Let's Go Brandon flag and a Let's Go Brandon shirt. Now, if you guys have been following the U.S. politics, you'll know that Let's Go Brandon, if we look it up on here, Let's Go Brandon had a huge spike. I mean, look at that. It is a massive spike on Google Trends, which it was actually, like, the backstory behind it is there was actually a NASCAR race, and in the background, this newscaster was doing a story covering the NASCAR race, and in the background, the audience was chanting, "Fuck Joe Biden," and the news reporter misinterpreted that and said that they were chanting "Let's Go Brandon." So it became this like massive meme across the internet, especially within the Republican circles. It was highly resonant, and it was a highly productizable and merchandisable idea and topic. And there's these things come up literally all the time in the political niche. Like same with the Betsy Ross flag, that was something trending. But there's literally a million of these things that come up. This one was an exceptionally huge topic, but there's all these little sayings and nuances and trending news articles that you can extrapolate information from and create into trending products and highly viral products and extremely emotionally resonant products with the audience. Now let's go back to the notion here. Yeah, there's always trending, and there's really constant controversy. So whenever something is controversial, it means people's identities are being woven into the ideas, the controversy. People's emotions are being woven into the controversy. And whenever someone puts their identity on the line, puts their emotions on the line, there's money. There's lots of money there because passion and controversy go well together. There's two people extremely passionate about different ideas, willing to die for the idea, willing to die for their country for the idea. And so it's highly productizable, and people basically are willing to spend an unlimited amount of money in this niche, especially during Q4. And then lastly, just basically reiterating, there's unlimited product ideas. There are new sayings, nuances, topics coming out literally daily because it relies on the news. And so you're taking all of the best news articles and what's going viral and what's resonating within all of the Republican supporters' ideals and taking the information and then productizing it. So that's why this niche is gold. You've got highly passionate supporters. You've got evergreen topics, constant controversy, and unlimited product ideas. We're actually going to dive into the Etsy shop and take a look at my best-selling products. I just want to do this real quick so you guys kind of have an idea of what sells really, really well. So let's go to the listings, and I remember off the top of my head which ones were best sellers. So yeah, let's see here. I think there's a way, it might be a way to sort by revenue. I'll have to take a look. Let me go here. All time. All listings. Okay, so I can't sort by the best sellers, but I can show you basically which ones generate the most revenue. So without a doubt, this one was my best seller right here. So I'm going to open that one up in a new tab. This one was one of my best sellers. This one, plain and simple, a best seller. And I'm going to run through these products and kind of tell you why they sold so well. Let's keep going here. This one worked really well. Yeah, so I think those are probably good there. Yeah, this Save America Day, it's all kind of the same thing. And this one as well. This is one of my best sellers. So let's start off with this one. I'll see if I can view it. I can't view it, unfortunately. But this is what the listing thumbnail looked like. So yeah, I think each one of these SKUs I was doing like each one of the SKUs is doing well over $10,000, and I had multiple SKUs of the same item. So if you take a look at this is kind of what the thumbnail looked like. And this is obviously a very abrasive item, okay? This is a big attention grabber. Not only does it say fuck, but it says fuck twice. And it's very simple, plain to the point, simple design, a 3x5 flag, highly emotionally resonant with my audience, especially right at Inauguration Day when Joe Biden got elected. On Inauguration Day, we did over 1,000 units in sales. And the majority of those sales came to this product. So the next one, this is basically a meme of Trump. This one was kind of like an evergreen one, kind of a collectible item, something you hang up in your garage if you're living in Alabama, whatever. Let's go to the next one. Another staple of the Trump campaign, selling super well, not as abrasive as the other one, but revenue is extremely high on this one. Yeah, just a staple. This is one of my best sellers, literally for the entirety of running the store. This one as well. So as you can see, I was kind of adapting the store after Joe Biden got elected. Trump lost the election. This one was able to be one of the best sellers because it was essentially just saying thank you to him, thank you for your service. And that's how I was able to pivot and adapt the store, even though my entire store was built off of the hype surrounding the Trump campaign. I was able to even capitalize afterwards because of how pissed off people were at Biden still, all the mistakes Biden was making, and just saying thank you to Trump. So that's part of the reason why this one sold well. And then this one is also really a great seller. And as you can see, this one's way more higher ticket than my other ones. So it's kind of a exclusive luxury all black American flag, which is embroidered and it's like super high quality. So the audience crossover is there. My audience loves the American flags, but this is no normal American flag. This is really a boutique, luxury, very high quality item. So that's why this one sold so well. So those are my best sellers and why they sold so well. All right, so here's a screenshot of how I did $4,600 in revenue in one day with this store. And man, this store was absolutely ripping that day. I was so excited, ecstatic. This is about 70% margins as well. So almost $3,000 profit in a single day. And I was just ecstatic. And this is really organically driven. Like I was running a few low budget ads, but this is mostly organic sales. So I was just really happy. And basically the story of how I did this mini sales was inauguration day. It actually wasn't election day, it was inauguration day, which if you think about our audience, yes, Trump lost the election, but the inauguration was the reality of Joe Biden getting elected. It was the reality setting in on all of these like super hyper passionate Trump supporters. And so that was an extremely emotionally resonant day for these people. And, you know, everyone was just like really pissed off. They were just sad. They were pissed off. They were unhappy. And so buying this flag right here, the fuck Biden flag, was the best seller. It was driving most of the sales that day. And kind of the story of how I did this and how I prepared for all of this was I had a offline, off-platform relationship with an eBay supplier that was actually able to order these bulk from China. Now, I convinced him in the messages to kind of show you. He actually ordered the bulk, and then I was just fulfilling from him. So I actually convinced him, kind of some social engineering, convinced him to take the risk of buying a few thousand flags, and then basically I fulfilled from him. But I told him months beforehand to order these things, so we could be ready and prepared for this day, because I saw in November on election day how powerful the demand was, and how many orders I got. And I was like, you know what? I need to kind of prepare and get ready for this. And so I told him, yeah, this is going to be the best selling SKU. And because it already was, it was gaining a lot of heat, a lot of traction. So I want to order a few thousand from China in bulk, and then have them here in the US. And so just making sure I was having no supply issues, and everything was going through smoothly. And so, yeah, that was that. It was pretty much being well prepared, having a hyper passionate audience, and having the hyper passionate audience be extremely emotionally resonant and reactive to the nature of the current events that was going on. That was the magic formula of how I did $4,600 in a day. Okay, so this is really how I was able to do 1 to 3 day USA drop shipping with very little risk, and the exact script I sent to the suppliers. But basically how this whole thing comes together and how I was able to really have thousands of 5-star reviews was because I was fulfilling from the USA. It had fast shipping. You know, if you're selling in the political niche, which this store was in, I can't be selling Trump flags made in China. Like, these people are pro-America. They want American manufacturing. They want high quality products, and they want fast shipping. So there's very, very low tolerance. If anything is made in China, that's a quick way to get a 1-star review, especially in this niche. And so basically how I was able to do it is due to the nature of eBay, due to the fact that it's an extremely highly competitive environment where people are undercutting each other left and right for the same products. I was basically able to source from eBay. Excuse me. Now, if you take a look at these listings, I remember, I think was like the exact guy I messaged. But if you take a look at the listings, the prices are low. They have fast shipping. There's good price incentives here. And so traditionally, if you're just testing a product, you'll take these listing photos, list them on Etsy, and if you get a couple orders in, okay, add them to cart on your eBay account, take the address from the Etsy order, put it in on the eBay order, and then ship it to the Etsy house. So that's kind of like the testing phase, right? But if you're starting to do a lot of volume and you want to have a personal relationship with these people, here's what you want to do. So you're going to go where it says contact seller, and then contact the seller again, and then you'll write a short message here. Now, a lot of these guys have people managing their customer service, so it needs to be kind of like an important message, so something that will get their attention. And so if you just say, please email me at this, I have a business inquiry, eBay is going to flag that. They hate it when it's taken off platform. So you kind of have to game the system here a little bit. So normally what I say is, hey, I have a business inquiry, a important, please see message attached. Now, we don't want the eBay system to see that we're trying to get the email. So I would actually attach an image like this. So you just make it in Canva, real easy, download this image, and then attach it to the eBay message. And they'll email you, you have a conversation with them, you say, yes, I would like to fulfill with Excel spreadsheets or CSVs, and then you can go from there. Now, if you're getting a lot of orders per day from Etsy, then you can simply download the CSVs or download all of the orders from Etsy. You can actually export the customer order information and then kind of just transcribe and translate the data in an Excel spreadsheet and then send it to these people. And these people will just invoice you. And this works for all eBay sellers. They'll just invoice you with PayPal or something like that. It's simple. So that's how you game the eBay system. That's how you're able to take this off platform. You can't let eBay see that you're trying to take it off platform because they might ban your account or this guy might not just answer you. So you have to be stealth, kind of sneaky, but that's how you do it. And that's how I was able to fulfill from the US. Fast, 1 to 3 day shipping, good quality, happy customers. I know this sounds crazy, but over the life of the entirety of this store, my conversion rate was on average 7.8%. Where else do you hear conversion rates that high? Literally nowhere else. Not even the best e-commerce people get 7.8% conversion rates. And on the day of the inauguration, my conversion rate was close to 25%. Okay, just so you guys can realize how crazy Etsy can be. Now, it has a lot to do with the audience, okay? It has a lot to do with that it's on Etsy, okay? It has a lot to do with the amount of 5-star reviews I had. It has a lot to do with how I positioned the shop. But really, coming down to all this is attainable for a lot of stores to do. And there's just a few optimizations and tweaks that you can make. But number one, on the listing side of things, higher conversion rates are due to a couple factors. But let's take a look at this listing. So this listing was extremely high converting. Not only was the thumbnail optimized with the Made in USA badge that you watched in the previous video, the red outline, the correct thumbnail dimensions, multiple listing photos, but videos. Okay, videos will boost your conversion rates like no other. And Etsy loves pushing listings that have videos. And part of the reason why all my listings did so well is Etsy actually chose my shop to be a beta test for the video feature. So now the video feature is a staple across all listings everywhere on Etsy. But when I was creating the store, I mean, they were just beta testing this thing. So you look, here's the video here. I just found this online somewhere. Boom, matches perfectly. I'm like, all right, sweet. Like, sweet, yeah, it matches perfectly. Everything's perfect. As far as the rest goes, it's like very simple things. So I'll fill in a few product details, but most of it is blank. And this is kind of what the listing looked like, and the listing description. So traditionally, I just describe the listing exactly for SEO purposes, for indexing purposes, what the flag is actually made of. If it's the design's visible on both sides, so that answers a lot of people's questions that I was getting, a few bullet points. But I mean, it's just very, very simple things. Higher conversion rates are answering the unanswered questions that are looming around in your audience's mind. And then here, obviously, big call to action. So during this time, this is leading up to the 2020 election, and people are just buying these things hot. Like if you stumble across this listing, you're going to buy it. And that's the big call to action, to remind the audience and tell them to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously, free shipping enhanced the conversion rate a little bit. I had free shipping on my entire store. But really, it's that, yes, this niche is gold, but I had a big call to action in my listing. I was a beta tester for the video feature. And really, I think my shop name, you can see it down here, it's a little bit cut off, but my shop name, it was Cure Liberal. So I feel like people just love that. So like a combination of all of those factors, regardless of your political affiliation, it's not meant to offend anyone. It's meant to convert at the highest rate for this particular audience. But a combination of all those factors together is going to allow you to be the best or have the highest conversion rate possible on your listings. All right, so is that the last video, and here are my final thoughts and what I would have done differently. But what you're thinking right now is like, wow, there's like not really, there's not a lot of crazy knowledge to gatekeep. Like really, it's not that difficult to succeed on Etsy. This information I gave you here, you probably already knew to some extent. But now I've assimilated the information and reminded you and showed you that success is possible with it. Now, my final thoughts and what I would have done differently. First of all, I wish I could still be running this store. Okay, it's a real shame that it got taken down, especially doing the volume and numbers that it did, and how good of a niche that it's in. I could have captured all these emails and transferred it over to an email list and launched a Shopify. There's so many things I could have done, but it got banned. The momentum is done. It got banned. It's over. It's unfortunate, but the reason why it got banned was an IP infringement on a different store I was running in the anime niche. So, yeah, now I understand how to evade bans and how to kind of run this thing called Etsy Stealth, which I have a guide written on and released in this course as well. But yeah, I just wish that I knew. I wish that I knew what Etsy Stealth was and that I was running Etsy Stealth for this, because it's a real shame that it got banned. And then what I would have done differently operationally with the store, honestly, I did everything pretty well. I would say just throwing more listings up, and instead of just honing in on flags, I wish I had truly expanded my arsenal and had like 1,000 listings for t-shirts, hoodies, blankets, maybe more yard signs, like everything imaginable. Because I had 40 listings on this store, 40 listings got me close to $100,000 in sales. I can only imagine what 1,000 would do, with that many, like throwing that many things on the wall, like something's bound to stick, right? So I wish I had more listings, and I wish I was running Etsy still. That's really the two things that I would have done differently. But other than that, it was a great run. I'm happy with it.